Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from the Black Business School, and I wanted to talk for a second about this thing. As you know, I might have mentioned to you guys, I'm going to be on CNN tonight to talk about this Urban League report. This report they do called the State of Black America, and what this means. And I just had a conversation with the CNN producer about what we are going to discuss, and I don't know who the other guests are going to be. I don't that stuff doesn't bother me. And what was interesting was we were really talking about just the state of black leadership, and or led into a conversation about the state of black leadership. We were first talking about this report and just kind of what it means, and basically whether or not black people are better off now than they were under Obama, and the nature of the report. And one of the things about the report that's really interesting is, and I wanted to share it with you guys, is that the report really centers around responding to Trump. And I don't know if that's a strategic move by Mark Morial to kind of, get people riled up behind the report, because, everybody's scared of what the Trump presidency is going to do. But what's interesting is that, black people really didn't, he's compared it to the Obama presidency, almost like we want to protect the gains under Obama. But the problem is, black people didn't really progress under Obama. Black people didn't do that well under Obama. Now, this is not, sort of a criticism of Obama per se. I'm not going to get into all that, but I will say, that we really kind of need to think about what leadership looks like in the black community. So I had some notes on the report, and I'll kind of go through some of them with you so you can kind of know what I saw, and what I was thinking, what we talked about. First thing was I couldn't help but notice that in the report they were talking heavily about protecting black people from Trump. And the producer was asking me, well, what do you think about that? And I said, well, I don't really, I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't like Trump as a president. I don't think he's built for that job. But I said, really, I'm not really sure what Trump has really done to black people yet. I haven't seen it. It doesn't mean that he won't do it or he doesn't have plans, but I just haven't seen it. I'm like, okay, what did he do? Tell me what he did, right? And there's nothing there. It's kind of like a sort of a very reactionary, predictive kind of energy where it's like, well, he ain't did it, but we know he's gonna come get us next. And what I believe, black people, and y'all can love me or hate me or whatever you want for this, but I'm gonna just tell you what I think is the truth. I believe that it was the liberals and the Democrats that got you scared when Trump was, doing whatever he did with the immigrant situation, or whenever he, with the feminists get mad at him over the grab him by the pussy thing, which ain't cool. We know that's not cool. Don't say that stuff. But the only thing I can think of that Trump has done that is a problem for African Americans is Jeff Sessions as the Attorney General. I will say is a problem. But here's the thing about the Trump presidency is really interesting to me versus the Obama presidency is that, if I'm Trump, you know what I do if I'm Trump? If you come at me and you're black and you say, because the thing is, I was reading through the Urban League report, and one of the things they were saying was they wanted a Marshall Plan for urban America. They want the government to come in and make extensive investments, in the black community and do all these things for black folks, which I'm not in a disagreement with that at all. But if I'm Trump, here's what I say to you. When you come to me and you're black, I'm like, okay, black people, so you want a Marshall Plan. Okay, sounds good. Well, how about this? I will do as much for you as the black guy did. I will do as much for you as your first black president did. And then when I do the exact same thing, I want you to show me the difference between the way you interpret my actions versus the way you interpret his actions. And I'm gonna tell you what, the number one problem that that we're gonna have is that Trump can literally look back and say, what do you mean address black unemployment? Obama didn't address it one time in 8 years. The man didn't even talk about it. So I went through the report and I broke it down and I said, okay, here's what I think about this and that and that. And I try to be objective. I try to take my ego out because I'm not in this game. I ain't trying to run for office. I ain't trying to get nobody to love me. I don't give a damn. But I said, look, I said, here's the problem you have right now. And because I see this report, I see the Urban League, the Congressional Black Caucus. I'm sure Al Sharpton, his Jerry Curl or Super Perm or somewhere in the building. And I said, your problem that you have right now is that you don't have black leaders who care about black people. You have black leaders who spend more time talking about immigration than they spend talking about black folks. They working so hard to create these black-brown coalitions with people who don't give a shit about black people. And they're so busy doing that they have forgotten about urban America. I said, because when you look at the facts, you see, among many things, Obama is in office, and right in his home city of Chicago, they have more murders than they've had in years. And then on top of that, one of the most notorious homicides in the city was done by the Chicago police on Laquan McDonald. Obama's buddy, Rahm Emanuel's the one who covered it up so that he could get elected, so he could make sure black people voted for him, so you can vote for somebody who wants to exterminate you. It's crazy to me. It's literally like the Twilight Zone sometimes. I don't know if y'all feel, sometimes being black, let's be real, sometimes being black makes you feel like you're in the fucking Twilight Zone because some of the shit just don't make no goddamn sense. Excuse my French. I'm sorry, but I'm cussing because I'm mad about this. This is really baffling to me. So I'm not a person that's getting up every day saying, I hate Barack Obama. I hate Barack Obama. I don't do that. But I just feel sorry for black people because we will accept anything that we can get. We will take anything that anybody throws at us and be like, thank you, Massa, for not killing us. I'm going to worship you for that. How can I lick the bottoms of your feet and get the dust off of them for you? Like, we have that real, like, bootlicking kind of mindset that really just is incredibly, incredibly problematic and painful and self-destructive. What else is in the report? Well, one thing they mentioned, which I agree with, I mentioned a second ago, they have this whole idea. They say that we need a massive Marshall Plan for Main Street, et cetera, et cetera. That's another thing too. They'll try to sometimes use language where they'll say the word black like as little as possible so they can form broad coalitions. So we want to help take care of the poor. We're here for gay rights. We're here for the immigrants, and we're also black people. Yeah, they're a part of that too, right? So what happens is you got too many leaders that are fighting for everybody else first and putting you last. That's why your leadership ain't getting nothing done. That's why they forget about you. You're Chicago. Chicago got that problem. You got the black elite right here in Chicago that really don't spend a lot of time talking about what's happening to the black people on the other side of town. They just don't. They just don't, because in their mind, they are royalty. They are the aristocracy. And when they get money, when they get a raise or promotion, or they get some big opportunity, they just kind of thinking, good for me and good for my friends. I don't really have to worry about all the problems being caused by those poor people. What else? I would say that, another problem you have, and this is a note I made just from the report, is that you had a black president who set the bar really, really low in terms of what you have to do for black people. And meaning that the administration kind of did the bare minimum. Black people are not better because they had Obama as the president, not economically anyway, not economically, not educationally. Perhaps criminal justice. I must give them credit for that. They made some strides in criminal justice. Outside of that, I didn't see a whole lot of progress. So because he set the bar so low, then again, all the white guy has to say is, okay, I'll do, you want me to fund HBCUs? Okay, cool. I'll give you as much as the black guy did. And see, I'm sorry, but y'all can't get all pissed off of, well, damn you must not love black people. Donald Trump does not care about black people. You're goddamn right he don't care about black people, because it's up to black people to care about black people. How you expect him to care more about you than you care about yourself? How do you expect a white guy to care more about the black community than its own leaders care? I mean, really, imagine this. Imagine if a Jew came to me and said, Dr. Boyce, you really need to save the Jewish community. You're not helping Jews. And I'm like, well, I'm helping black people because I'm black. I ain't got time to go save y'all and save my own people. And I said, no, Dr. Boyce, you need to do what's right for the Jews. And I'll say, okay, all right, well, I'll do some stuff for y'all. I'm going to pick your leader, your most prominent leader, and I'm going to do exactly what he does. And here's the thing. If he's doing less than me, then that means y'all got a leadership problem. The Jews would never accept it. They would never accept leadership that does so little for them that they have to beg other people to take care of them. They have to beg their enemies to do what their friends won't even do. Somebody said that today. I was talking today. I was talking about rappers, and I don't hate all rappers. I love rappers. Some of the rappers I helped make them famous. The rapper Young M.A. Don't ask me about the music. I know her music is funny, objectionable, but she's very talented. The rapper Young M.A literally has said on several interviews that that I was the reason she became famous. That it was because I put her on my Facebook page. So I have rappers that I love, rappers I've helped, etc., etc., etc. But I have some rappers I hate. I have some rappers that I despise because when you're rapping and you're promoting black genocide and letting white people pay you to promote the murder and the death and to celebrate the death of your own people, you're not a friend of mine. You're an enemy. You're a deadly virus on your people. And so when I threw it out there was a brother who said, "Hey, Dr. Boyce, well, these rappers, they may not be great, but how do you compare these to how can you compare them to these police officers?" 'Cause I think I said something like, "Well, we can get upset about police killing our kids, which we should, but we should also be upset about rappers who promote the genocide of our children every single day of the week." And he said, "Yeah, but rappers are not paid to serve and protect, but the police are." I said, "Yeah, but do you really think that a white cop is going to care more about your babies than you do? Do you really think that they will ever respect the people where your primary leadership that you support doesn't care nothing about you?" That's weird. That's weird, right? Like, why would you love somebody else's children more than they love their own? It doesn't make any sense. So for black people, your number one problem is that your leaders sell you out. Your leaders don't care about you. So we got to the point where the conversation centered around this. I said, "Look," she said, "was there anything else, Dr. Watkins, that you want to bring up?" Because I know we're going to go on CNN tonight. We'll be on at 9:20 Eastern. And she said, "Well, can you think of anything else you want to bring up?" I said, "Here's the problem." I said, "Black leaders need to start talking about black people. Black leaders need to stop trying to form these goddamn rainbow, broad-based coalitions and all these other things where we get sunk to the bottom of the coalition. If we could be at the front of the coalition, then fine. If you want to build a bus, fine, build a bus, but make sure we're driving the bus. Make sure our agenda is driving the bus. Stop with all this damn." Like, we're going to go out. Why the hell are you fighting for illegal immigrants when ain't none of them illegal immigrants fighting for you? That's stupid. That's retarded. That's just the dumbest stuff I've ever heard in the world. You're fighting for people who ain't never going to fight for you. People who will never march for you. People who will never go out and stand up for you ever. Now, by the way, when I say the word rainbow, it's not a direct attack on the Rainbow Coalition and Reverend Jesse Jackson. I see Reverend Jackson as mixed. I've been around the guy a lot. I've been on his show a million times, and I've seen him show sincerity and consistency in a lot of areas. And I've seen things behind the scenes that make me believe that he wants to do the right thing. But at the same time, we're in a new era. We're in an era where the civil rights movement has shifted. The new civil rights movement, number one, is a wealth building movement. It is a self-empowered movement. Black people must generate the freedom of black people. The Democratic Party will not generate freedom for you. President Obama, he's gonna go take care of Michelle and the kids, and then he's gonna go out and give speeches on these racially ambiguous topics so that he can keep his base of white people. God bless him. Go make your money, man. You go do your thing. You ain't hurt nobody. You just ain't doing nothing for nobody. But you ain't doing nothing for us like that, except symbolism. Now, mind you, symbolism. That's what Obama gives you. Obama gives you hope that one day white people may like you if you learn how to behave and learn how to not say the wrong things. If you support the agenda of white liberals will pay you and take care of you. That's how a lot of public figures make their money. That's how that's why a lot of your leaders sell you out, because they know that these coalitions with liberals give them access to money that they could not get otherwise. Al Sharpton says a lot of what he says because that's where his sponsorship is coming from. The Democrats hook you up. They put you in positions that you couldn't normally get in. That you get to go into clubs that you would never be invited into. You get to go to Martha's Vineyard and sit with Bill Clinton because you are one of them. Right? So what we need to do is transition a little bit and say, look, congratulations to y'all, to y'all who got into the club. Good for you. Good for you. You're friends with Hillary. Good for you. You're in with the Aspen Institute. That's so wonderful. God bless you for that. We over here trying to build our own. We over here trying to get a real power base, not a fake power base. We're trying to get a power base that's ours, where we're raising our own capital. We're making our own moves. We are completely self-determined, and we have a core that is as strong as a rock. We have a core that is so strong that when the wind blows, we're not going to move any direction just because the Democratic wind blows. We'll say, oh, the wind's blowing, but this is where we're going to be. And I think that's a different kind of relationship with white people. That's one that will make them respect you. See, the reason you see your leaders shift with the wind is because they don't control the weather. They don't control and they're not rocks, they're feathers. So I bet, for example, I bet you anything that if the Democratic Party starts saying, okay, we're going to start attacking Trump in this way and talking about this issue, you're going to see black people saying the same thing. You're gonna see black people on television. I don't go on CNN that much. I don't know why they call me. So every now and then there's somebody who infiltrates CNN who has a black agenda, who actually heard me speak and was influenced by what I said, and they weren't sort of carried away with the liberal nonsense or the conservative nonsense. So every now and then somebody will say, well, there's this guy, Boyce Watkins, we should bring him in. But I never expect to be invited back because I know that what I bring to the table isn't really going to work for them. So what I really want to see us do as black people is have our own media networks, our own outlets that really belong to us, that really are that's black and that's controlled by black people. White people can come in and work, I guess other people from other groups can come in as, and partner or whatever the case may be, but you have to be careful about who's controlling the message, because I'm gonna tell you, the Congressional Black Caucus is about as watered down as old dirty nasty chitlins. Like, they are about the worst, most disgusting group of political figures in the history of this country. They are an embarrassment to the community. They are completely toothless. They don't care about the black community. They're not up there really fighting for you. They're not ready for the tough fights. You see, the tough fight for black people, the real win for black people, is not going to come from bougie assimilated Negroes who went to Harvard. It's just not. Because white folks like you if you are a part of them. Because they're not always horrible people. I mean, sometimes you can actually work with them and be okay. The real fight for black people, the real building for black people, will come from those who have been marginalized, who have no choice, the outsiders, the what they call them in technology, they call them early adopters. The early adopters, those who have high self-esteem, a strong core of blackness, very little room to compromise their blackness, very little room for excuses and bullshit. And if you're one of those people, then I encourage you to get where you belong. Get in where you fit in. Don't get in where you're told to go. Get in where you're supposed to be. And so I'm gonna tell you like this. I already know I'm an outsider. I'm okay with that. I embrace that. I like that. I don't really, I get a little nervous when they start trying to make me to an insider, because I start saying, okay, I don't want to be tempted by the money. I don't want to be tempted by the power. I don't want to be sitting next to some big wig in the Democratic Party who says, well, Boyce, if you just change your message a little bit, we can get you that extra $1 million in funding. I don't want to hear that. And so at the end of the day, that's our problem. We ain't got no damn leaders. We got leaders who sit around reacting to things. So right now, when I read the Urban League report, and the Urban League, very smart people. I know a lot of people who work at the Urban League, very good people, have so much respect for them. I met Mark Morial. I don't know him that well, but when I met the guy, he was very polite. God bless him for that. But one of the problems we have, and Dr. Claude Anderson talks about this in Black Labor, White Wealth, is that a lot of our leaders are not proactive. They are reactive. They don't spend time planning to prevent a crisis. They spend time responding when there is a crisis. They don't spend time making power moves. They actually spend time trying to not be totally at the back of the bus. So when I looked at the report and I was going through the bullet points of the report and trying to understand it and looking at various sources, and I kind of saw a lot of conversation that revolved around this idea of black people kind of being a charity case. Black people kind of like for example, they talked about social programs and stuff like that. And I'm not saying those aren't helpful. I agree. I think they should be in place, absolutely. But we're not a group of pathetic ass people who will only survive on social programs. Get that out of your head. The Jews don't sit around saying, my God, if they change the social programs, then we won't be able to eat. They don't do that. They go build businesses so they can eat. And I didn't see a lot of mention of really developing black entrepreneurship and black business development. I saw tax cuts, which I assume were for business, but I did not really see a lot that talked about true black empowerment. Somebody said, we are the Jews. Well, I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you like this. Look, I ain't scared of the Jews in that regard. In any way, politically, sociologically, or economically. I taught hundreds of Jewish students how to go to Wall Street and make millions of dollars. So the stuff that I show you guys, the stuff that I talk to you guys about, that's the stuff that's even beyond what the Jews are talking to their children about. So I just will tell you that if we make the right moves now, then I think we can put ourselves in a true power position. And I think that we can smoke out all the black people who just, run around compromising so much that you become as weak as water. You become as worthless as water. You become a non-entity. You become a freaking ghost because you're trying to fit into everywhere. Well, the only way you can fit in everywhere is if you are a damn ghost. When you have no flesh, no blood, no body, no substance, no nothing. You're just a damn ghost. You are hope, your symbolism. And that's what the Obama presidency was. It was symbolism. That's all you got. If I'm wrong, black people, please point out ways that black people have gained strength from the Obama presidency. Not the ability to play strugglenomics, not the ability to get by. Sure, Obamacare, great, good. I like what he was trying to do with Obamacare, but I'm talking about where we really gained strength. The Obama presidency was not a power move for black people. It was a nice little assimilation move. It was a nice like progress. It was a move that appeared to be progress, but really you have to get away from this idea of thinking that progress means that more white people like you. That's not always progress. Sometimes it's like your teenage daughter. Sometimes it's not good that all the boys like her, that she's the most popular girl in school, because she might be popular because she's doing things that are unethical. So a lot of your most popular black people are nothing but political whores. That's why they're popular. That's why everybody loves them. So anyway, I'm about to go. I got to get ready. I got to pack up. I'm going to the CNN thing. It'll be 9:20 tonight Eastern time. Also, I'm going to go to the Canary Islands this week and spend some time and meditate on life. But I'll still be tuning in. I'll still be doing intellectual chocolate and everything else. Also, I'll still be teaching in the Black Business School. If you want to come and check out some of our programs, please go to blackfinancialliteracy.com. That's blackfinancialliteracy.com. That's my power move. My belief is that while everybody's out here trying to get in good with white folks, I'm trying to get in good with black folks. I'm trying to get in good with greatness, because I believe that if you're truly great and you come together and you all are committed to black excellence, then what's going to happen is they may not like you, but they're going to clear a path for you. So make them clear a path for you. Make them respect you. And they're not going to respect you if you run around here ignorant and cooning and licking butts all the time. They only respect you if you know how to stand up like a damn man, and put on your big boy, big girl panties, and be strong. Have a strong community. Build strong families. Go out here and buy the block instead of going out buying up the Popeye's chicken. Go out here and make some moves. Make some power moves. Power requires aggression. Aggression. Black people must be aggressive in terms of how we move forward, how we move, how we operate, and uncompromising in every single way. So when I see a lot of these reports and stuff that the Negroes in power are doing, I feel sorry for them because a lot of them are in cages. They're in cages that they voluntarily walked into. But I'll tell you what, I'm not going to be in a cage, and you shouldn't be either. So get out the damn cage. Let's go make it happen. All right. By the way, so the URL is blackfinancialliteracy.com if you want to check out some of our stuff. And also, if you go to the Dr. Boyce Watkins store.com, that's the Dr. Boyce Watkins store.com. We have a lot of very low cost downloadable lectures on everything from how to turn your child into a millionaire to how to write a business plan, all kinds of stuff. So that's the Dr. Boyce Watkins store.com. And if you've seen any of my lectures in the Black Business School, it's better than anything you'll get in college. And I can give you $100,000 college education for just a few $100 over time. So that's the goal. That's one of my power moves. And the Black Business School is growing. We have almost 40,000 students. We're actually looking at physical locations all around the country, and pretty soon we'll be located everywhere. And that's going to be another power move. And I don't really care what people think. I don't care if people like me or not. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that you love yourself and that you're doing the right thing. So anyway, take care. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.